Okay. Another way to look at this whole the Rawsome Foods issue is that you have the city of California, which is the city is just a city government, which is just a corporate entity, and they have for a long time, through contract fraud and through lack of awareness, have gained jurisdiction, which is the oath spoken word, which is contract, over all transactions, and they have a monopoly over everything going on in the city. They don't have a right to that. We institute governments to secure our rights. One of our rights is to freely associate, engage in unlimited contract. However, we've been conned into contracting away our rights, and it is through the person, and it is through that they're getting their jurisdiction, is through the person. This jurisdiction, the oath spoken word, the oath affirmation, the contract in play that's granting them the jurisdiction to impose their rules is the person. So remember, people, you are not a person. You are given a person. You own a person. A person is a financial instrument. But from the city's point of view, from their corporate power center, which is completely corrupt and gone way beyond the scope of what they're supposed to be engaged in, which is what we need to really scale back this power. Whether you realize it or not, you need to wake up to it. But what they have is, they see that, they have a complete monopoly. They own it all, and here they have this one guy who pops up like a big eyesore, who is completely free of their control, because he's engaged in free sovereign, free private contracts. They're outside of their scope. They're outside of their power, control, manipulation, and jurisdiction, and that freaks them out. Because what if that catches on? What if that one little this one guy, people start to realize that they can engage in association outside of the jurisdiction of government? That scares the hell out of these people, because this is basically a total takeover of all of everything. Damn it. It's a jurisdictional takeover through contract fraud. And it's only working because people are completely ignorant, because they've been run through the public school systems, which do not educate. They indoctrinate you. They're one big psychological operation, teaching you how to be confined to the tribal, hierarchical modes and compartmentalization of the flesh. I mean, people are highly brainwashed in this culture. You need to turn off your television, start researching your God-given rights, researching what it truly means to be sovereign. The founding fathers of our country designed a very good government, and it was a government for public, for all people to use if they so choose to use, through the consent of the governed. And they did a good job, and they created the Constitution, which does not grant rights. The Constitution is a piece of paper. It's a government piece of paper restricting government and what government can do. But so don't talk about constitutional rights. Your rights come from God. They come from the Creator. They don't come from a piece of paper. But what they did was they warned about all the little pitfalls. And what these men did was basically used everything these men warned against us, and all they had to do was limit our awareness. Take exactly what the men 235 years ago, or something along those lines, warned us about, and made us ignorant of those things, and now they've been able to use those things against us. All you have to do is research your founding fathers, research the Declaration of Independence, which is basically a declaration of sovereignty. And it talks about the grievances against the king, and it may be, and take the time to understand what those grievances are, and really, because the way you've been taught, you'll read it and you won't get it, because you've been made to be ignorant and not be able to really think and understand these things. It's the same reason when you read a piece of legislation, your mind gets tangled. They want your mind to be tangled. They ran you through a system that made it's English, but it's not English. It's legalese, and it's meant to discourage you and distract you and just make you step away. And that's what they want. The truth is, you don't need to know their legalese. Legal and lawful are two different worlds. And when you live in the world of the law, you live in a very simple world. When you were in the legal world, you're in total nonsense, insanity. It's time that we step outside of this. We start invoking our sovereignty. We start engaging in free association, and we get the government out of our lives. But this is going to be tricky, because we need to start stepping away from it would be easier to do if we had more forms of real currency. Everywhere, it's just the Federal Reserve note. Everywhere. This is a privately owned debt-based product. This is one of the main taproots of all of our problems, and that's infringing upon our rights to freely associate, because technically the Federal Reserve note does not belong to us. It says it right on there. It's a Federal Reserve note. It belongs to the Feds, not us. It's their product. Let them have it. We don't want it. It's debt-based anyways. You don't want to build your life upon it, because if you do, they can pull the rug out from under you whenever they want. Wake up. Research it. So what we need to do is start diversifying our currency. And, like I have chickens, my eggs are currency. Your labor is currency, and you own your labor by right of God. Anybody who says otherwise, you need to start looking at how it is they're claiming this jurisdiction over your labor. And it's most likely it is through the person, and it is through the Federal Reserve note. These are frauds. These are criminal actions against... Basically what they're doing is using your ignorance and to engage in an act of war against the free sovereigns of this country. And they're using the media to place a spin on the sovereigns who stand up as being some kind of lawless radicals. We're not lawless at all. We're not radical at all. We respect the law, and we just want to be free of your contract, your association, which we have every right to be. This goes back to the very principles upon which this country was founded. If you do not like freedom, you do not belong in America. Okay? It's real simple. You need to, instead of watching television and listening to these people and let them fill in the spots, you need to start doing your own research, and you need to turn off your television, because the television is lying to you. It is lying to you. These people are lying. They're using obedience, they're using spin, and they're using your ignorance against you. It's time to step out of that box. You have been highly compartmentalized. Your awareness is going to grow. There are many people in this world right now that are holding up the light of truth. You need to step towards the light, because if you step away, you're going to step into a world of hell. These people are corrupted because they consume power. We use government to secure our rights, and how to explain this? These people are corrupted because they've consumed power. Instead of delegating power, which really isn't even their place, it should be each one of our individual delegating our own power, our own resources, our own currency, based on an equalitative system, which is really what the design is all about. Because anytime we go against that, we have a man who owns 1,000 acres and 1,000 men who own 0 acres, you have a massive amount of inequity. Eventually that inequity will boil up and destroy whatever system that has allowed that inequity. This is the design of the world. This is one of the safeguards that is we cannot escape. But what the hell was I talking about? Yeah, anytime you have men consuming power, which is what they're doing, they're taking all currency, all power, and they're taking your labor, they're taking your land, they've taken everything that God has given you, which is self-ownership and a right to a place in this world, and taking it from you through contract fraud, and they're consuming that power. They've consumed more power that has been allotted to them by the Creator, therefore they have become corrupted. They cannot stop their own corruption, people. They can, there's only 2 ways this can happen. We withdraw consent, remove the power, the currency, the energy that's going into them, that's corrupting them, and they will come back down and become more balanced, and then they can repent, and hopefully God will restore them. Or they will become so empowered that they will destroy their power base, and therefore destroying their source of power, which is creating the massive amount of inequity, the massive amount of corruption within them, and then they will balance back out. They don't see this, they don't know this, they lack the awareness. They don't see the fundamental design and how this whole thing works, how the world works. And it may take 100 years, but it will happen. Look at history. This is how this world works. So we have to start looking at the design, the very simplistic design of the world that the Creator has given us, that is really beautiful. It really it frees us up. It gives us really what we all want at our most essence, at our core. And I hope people can understand this.